Hello, my name's Danielle and this is Excalibur Crafts, and today we are going to be doing a big book haul. So these are going to be all the books that I got. I think it'll be like November, December, so it's got all my Christmas books that I've got, so there's quite a lot in here. I'm currently filming a vlog, so I used to post these videos on my Excalibur Books YouTube channel, but I've always wanted to combine my two channels together because I like doing like crochet and crafts and allotment videos and book videos. So I was doing them on two separate channels, but I've decided to like experiment a bit and post the book ones over here because it's hard to maintain like two different channels, so it'd be better for me to combine them. I've not been doing like any craft videos because I just don't have the time to do both, so I've been focusing on the book ones, but the solution might be to bring the book videos over here. Something like happened on my booktube channel anyway where I was getting like loads of views, and I think it might have been botted, I'm not sure. I'm just going to leave that channel alone for now and focus on bringing everything over here. I am recording a vlog where I explain this in the intro, but I don't think that'll be up for a while yet. My cat is back here, don't know if you can see her. She's just sleeping on the warm radiator. Let's get straight into the book haul. I have separated them into like sections of where I got them from, and hopefully I didn't put any of these in the last book haul. I think I put all them away and started a new like pile, but I don't want to spend too long talking about what each book's about because I like going into my books blind, so I don't really know what they're about. I just get like an overall vibe and like some like buzzwords associated with them. So the first pile, we are going to be doing books that I just like bought myself in the past 2 months, and there is not a lot of books that I randomly just purchased on a whim. I have 2 pre-orders and then just 5 books that I have like bought from charity shops or Vinted. So first pre-order is, I always pre-order these books to get these editions because they are my favourite books. This is my favourite book's favourite author, and that is the new Travis Baldree, which is Brigands and Bread Knives, and this matches my other editions from the Broken Binding, so they are signed as well. This is a continuation or sequel for Legends and Lattes. The other book, Bookshops and Bone Dust, that was a prequel, so this is the 3rd book but it's the first sequel. So I guess it's going to bring all the characters from the prequel and Legends and Lattes together, so that is really exciting because we see Viv interacting with both sets of characters, but then we don't see like them sets of characters interact together. So I am super excited to dive into this one. I'm usually going straight away, but I've had other things to read. Legends and Lattes was the first cozy fantasy I read, and my favourite is what got me into cozy fantasy as a genre. I think it's really what skyrocketed cozy fantasy is like a popular genre as well. If you don't know what Legends and Lattes is about, it's about a like retired mercenary orc who settles down and opens a coffee shop. That's basically all it really is about. It's about them doing up a coffee shop, introducing coffee to the village, because I don't think it's like a known commodity in that world. Now I'm a barista as well, so I actually find it really interesting. Next is another pre-order, and it's the series finale to Fortuna Sworn, and that is Violent Awakenings by KJ Sutton. I love Fortuna Sworn series. I think as they've been going on, I've been enjoying them a little bit less and less, and that is because they've started having a bigger plot around like dreaming and dream worlds and entering like a dreamscape, which I really don't like reading dream stuff in books. Really love this series, but I don't like the increased dream thing, and I think this one's gonna have more of it. Yeah, I really recommend the Fortuna Sworn series if you like romantasy. It's like a lesser known one than these like bigger book talk ones, so I think it needs more hype around it. It's really underhyped and underappreciated, I think. And then I got one book from a charity shop, and that was Last Days by Adam Neville. I don't actually remember what this one's about. Oh, I think it's like a found footage type of book where a like indie filmmaker or film crew is exploring like a cult, I think. So yeah, this was £2 from a charity bookshop near me. I don't usually buy books now unless like from like charity shops or just random bookshops, because I have a lot of books at home, so I only buy it if I can't get it from the library, if it's a favourite author, or if it's like really expensive to buy. So I can't remember my reason to buy this. It's probably quite a lot on Amazon. Well, I've heard mixed things about Adam Neville's books because they're quite chunky horrors, but I do want to get into them, especially The Ritual as well. And that is The Ruins by this author. There's a few I want to read by this author, and I'll get to this one first probably. I got 3 books off Vinted, and the first one I got was Patricia Wants to Cuddle by Samantha Allen. This one, I think it's just like a fun horror type of book, like a popcorn read, quick read, that's why I got it. I think this is like a contestant reality show sort of book, and it has like mixed media in it, so it has like text messages, and I think it looks like blog posts in there. Yeah, I don't want to read too much into it. Also, the show takes place in like a remote wooded island, so it's going to be like a survival reality show, survival kind of thing, which sounds fun. Horror comedy for people who watch The Bachelor. I don't think I've ever read a book like set as a reality show, but I've seen quite a few pop up recently, so I think it's becoming like quite a popular thing. Next is Leech by Hiran Enes, and I've seen quite a lot of people say this is like their favourite book, so I really want to get to this. I think it's like a parasite medical horror. I think this is the one where it's like to do with like dementia or Alzheimer's as well. That might be something else, but I've heard people say it's like really sad, if that is the one that I'm thinking about. But it does say the parasite hosts minds. I'm really intrigued about this one because everyone loves it. And then from Vinted I got The Hunjin Murders by Seshi Yakamizo. This is like a Japanese detective story. Yeah, classic mystery introducing Japan's most famous detective, and it's a historical as well because it's set in the winter of 1937. So there's a murder at a wedding and an amateur detective will investigate. I have quite a few Japanese translated mysteries and I want to get into them. I don't know, I feel like, I'm not sure what it is, but I feel like I'll love them. I've just seen an illustration in this as well. And I think this is part of a like wider series. So if I love it, I'll have lots more to read. Next, I got King of Sorrow by Joe Hill at a Waterstones event where I went and met Joe Hill and got the book signed. So it says, for Danielle, best wishes, Joe Hill. So it's personalised as well. And that was my first ever author event and it was so much fun. I'd love to go to more. This is like I think it's like a fantasy, but it's set in like today's times. It's like a thriller, fantasy, horror type of like mashup, I think, which sounds great. I think it's something to do about a book that summons a dragon or something like that. Yeah, when he was talking about it at the event, I was getting so excited to read it. It is really chunky, but everyone says it reads quite fast, and it does look like it reads quite fast as well. Oh, and every year they must choose a new sacrifice for the dragon, else they will become his next victim. Super excited for this one. Next, I have a load of books that I got from subscription boxes. So I have subscribed to 3, I think. One of them is quarterly, so I don't have a book from that one. I will get that this month. But the majority of them are from the Abominable Book Club box because I get that every month. The first one is Fiend by Alma Katsu, which I'd never heard of before. This has come with a signed book plate. I don't know if I'm too interested in this one. It seems like it's like a corporate family that run one of the largest companies in the world, and they have some sort of demon. I'm not sure, but I'll give it a go. It's quite short. Yeah, not too sure about this one. Next is Corpse Mouth by John Langan, and this is 10 Dark Tales of Cosmic Horror, which I also hadn't heard about before, but this one does sound a lot more up my street. So it's just 10 horror short stories. Can't go wrong with the horror anthology. Next is Teenage Girls Can Be Demons by Hailey Piper, which also doesn't sound like it's for me. It is a horror anthology again, but it's 13 coming of age stories, which I don't particularly like. Coming of age stories, I don't really like reading stories where teenagers are the main character, but again, I will give it a go. Next from that book box, they do like a selection of, well, a selection, you get one pre-owned book in there as well, like a randomly selected one. They do like really old vintage horrors, which I haven't got yet. I keep getting these thrillers. One of them that I got was The Shadow Fiend by Alex North. I have The Whisper Man, but I've not read it yet. Yeah, this is a thriller, and the tagline just says, "The victim was your friend, so was the killer," and it just sounds like a generic thriller storyline. It says, "It was just a silly game to start with. Paul never dreamed Charlie would take it too far. Never thought it would end in murder. 20 years later." So again, it's that plot of a murder happens, they come back 20 years later and stuff starts unravelling. Next is The Bay by Ali Reynolds. Again, just seems like a generic thriller. I used to read a lot of these thriller mystery type books, but I've started to get bored of them because they tend to repeat the same storyline. So if you have any suggestions for some original different ones, I'm all ears. But this one seems like it's set in like a remote Australian beach, so this one sounds a little bit more interesting. Next, I got Fruitility by Nuzi Ono. I am actually really interested in this one. This one takes place in like is it Nigerian restaurant? Is that this one? Yes. One of the best restaurants in Nigeria. It says, betrayed by the men in their lives, two women seethe with rage and bitterness. When a trickster spirit offers them a gift of revenge, they cannot resist. So I assume they're using this restaurant and they're cooking to like kill men. I don't know if that is the plot, but that's what I am sort of hoping for. The next one is Itch by Gemma Amor, which I am super excited. I was so excited when I opened the box and this was in there. Signed again. So this is about a main character that goes back to her like reclusive hometown on the edge of the Forest of Dean, and she stumbles across a decaying ant-infested body in the woods and she plummets into a downward spiral. It says, all whilst battling an infestation that seems to have burrowed into her mind and her flesh. So it sounds like it's going to be like some bug horror maybe. I'm so excited for this one. This was like an anticipated release. Next is The Dream Home by T.M. Logan. I've been seeing a lot of this author. All their books seem to look the same though. This is about a family that move into a old Victorian villa in a nice neighbourhood, and they discover a hidden door behind a fitted wardrobe concealing a secret room. So that does actually sound quite interesting. And then from The Broken Binding, they started a new fantasy subscription box, which I signed up for. Well, it's a fantasy and sci-fi one. We got All That We See or Seen by Ken Liu. This is like a special edition sci-fi. We've got all these nice artworks. And oh, that one's really nice. But this is a sci-fi about a teenage girl who became infamous as the orphan hacker. Now, years later, she's trying to leave that life behind, hiding in the quiet suburbs of Boston. But a lawyer calls on her for help to find his wife, who's been kidnapped by a criminal syndicate. So I've not read anything like this before, but what sci-fis I have read I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the Illuminae Files, probably mostly because of the mixed media though, but this one seems kind of like that, so hopefully I will enjoy it. So that's all for the subscription box books. Next, I have 3 gifts sent to me off my Amazon wish list. So the first one I got from my friend Terry, who I go to my physical book club with, and we actually bought each other this exactly same books we both had on our wish list. They're Monstrous Hearts, and it's got these beautiful sprayed edges. I'm not sure what it's about. Oh, so it's about our main character Ricardo, and his grandmother has died and he's inherited her villa, but the house isn't as opulent as he remembers. The butterflies pinned to their glass cases seem more ominous than artful. Her group of mysterious old friends is constantly lurking, and there's something wrong in the greenhouse. He's writing a book in his villa, but he might not survive long enough to write it. Ooh, I am really excited for this one now. And then I got a Waterstones voucher for Christmas, so I have a stack of books that I got from there because I went the day after Boxing Day and nearly everything was half price. The first one I got was A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. Again, I love cozy fantasy, and this is one I've seen around quite a lot that I was really interested in. I particularly like ones that are around like a job, like the Legends and Lattes, like a cafe. This one's like running an innkeeping. If it focuses around like a cozy job, then I find them more enjoyable. Gotta get these stickers off though. I also got a Waterstones exclusive edition of the Ravenscolor for half price, which was a steal. This one, I think it's like a magical school murder mystery book. Got a nice map in it. Oh, I don't think it's set in a school, I think I made that up. There's 7 contenders that will compete to replace the king, but then one of them is murdered, so they've got to investigate that. Then I saw Shield of Sparrows for half price, so I got this as well. I don't have a clue what it's about, it's just I know it's very popular on BookTok at the minute, so it might actually be a mistake that I got this because I probably won't like it. But I think this is a romantasy about like gods and monsters and mortals. It does sound like it's a enemies to lovers from what I read, and that is like the only romance I remotely like, so might be a hit and might be a miss, I'm not sure. This one I saw at Waterstones I had never heard of before. I was drawn in by like the medieval artwork on the cover, and I think it's a cozy fantasy set in medieval times. It says, Isabella embarks on a journey of self-discovery with a grouchy cat-like companion. Darkshire's imagination runs wild, plunging readers into a delightfully deranged world full of enchantment and folklore. Cozy, full of wit and Pratchettian footnotes. Isabel Nag and the Pot of Basil is a book for those who can't help but find magic even in the oddest, most baffling circumstances. Yeah, so it sounds like it's going to be like a cozy, funny fantasy. I love footnotes. Oh yeah, there is footnotes. And like illustrations. I can't wait to get into this one actually. Next, I got House from the Dark Ages, which is, I think it's a collection of like medieval horror stories, and like medieval horror is like one of my favourite genres. I've been seeing this around, but it was quite expensive like to buy even off Amazon or anywhere. This was £16 for this paperback, so I thought whilst I had a voucher I'd use the opportunity to get it. Yeah, there's 18 medieval manuscripts featuring ancient horrors lurking in cursed castles, wild woodlands, haunted hamlets and mysterious monasteries. There isn't any authors that I recognise, but I might find some like new favourite authors that might have more medieval horror works in this. I got Catabasis by R.F. Kuang for half price because I loved Babel, so I thought I'd get her most recent one as well for half price. The end pages are really nice as well, and I think this is set in a school. I think they have to go into hell to find their professor, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna like it because I don't really like dimension traveling books, but I'm willing to give it a try after loving Babel. And then last one from Waterstones, I got The Expanded Earth by Mikey Please, which I'd never heard of, but I was drawn in by this beautiful cover. I'm still not really sure what it's about or what genre it's in, but it says humankind has been reduced to the height of a handspan, a transformation that is both potentially lethal and exasperatingly inconvenient. On a remote coastal path, Giles awakens in his new body to discover a world reshaped and magnified into a place of astounding abundance and deadly peril. Desperate to reconnect with his loved ones, he seeks the help of his fellow survivors, and together they embark on a quest across the altered landscape. But as their journey unfolds, the more the questions persist. Are they still truly human, or has their reduction in size marked the beginnings of a descent into savagery, an evolution into something other? So it seems like people have like shrunk and they're going on a journey across this new expanded earth. The final selection of books, so the books I got for Christmas from my mum. So I'm super grateful for this little stack of books I got, and the first one is The Black Tongue Thief by Christopher Bullman. I discovered he does quite a lot of like medieval fantasy horror. I think this one is just like a high fantasy, but I do want to read more by him. And this one follows like a thief-like character, which are my favourite characters to follow. Then I got The Yard by Alex Grecian, and I think this is like a historical mystery series. This is one set in 1889, 1 year on from the Jack the Ripper. A new killer stalks London street, but he is not reckoned on Scotland Yard's newly formed murder squad and the team of new recruits Walter Day and the world's finest forensic psychologist Dr. Kingsley. It's just a Victorian era murder mystery, which I love that setting, that era. And I have got The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. I don't know if this is a standalone, actually, I forgot. I don't think I've checked, but the artwork inside is so nice. I love that style of artwork. And I'm yet to read a Joe Abercrombie book, but I feel like I'm going to love them. I think it's going to be like a darker fantasy, but I don't really know what it's about and I don't really want to know. But it seems really like a medieval fantasy vibe that I really want. Then I have got American Rapture by CJ Leede. This is like an apocalyptic horror, I think, and it has something to do with the Catholic Church. I'm not quite sure. It says American Gods meets The Last of Us, and this epic and sweeping novel is about the end of the world as we know it and its fierceness of human resilience. I read another book by CJ Leede and quite enjoyed it. So, Mayfly. I read Mayfly by CJ Leede and enjoyed that. Yeah, I can't wait to get into like a post-apocalyptic end of the world book by this author. I got Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire because I read this years and years ago and I never continued on with the series because I just listened to it. But I really want to start reading them all physically, so yeah, I've started with the first one. There's a lot of them now. They cost like the same price as a hardback and they're really small. I thought I'd ask for the first one for Christmas, and this is a portal fantasy, but I did enjoy this one because I think it's like a murder mystery from what I remember. And each book's like following different children in this like children's home, going into like different worlds, and they're all quite short ones. Then last but not leastly, I got Come With Me by Ronald Malfi. This is a horror and I've heard it's quite Stephen King-esque, and I think this one is following a man whose wife died and he's like haunted by her ghost, and that's all I really want to know going into it, but I've heard great things about this one. So they're all the books that I have gotten over the past 2 months. I'd love to know what books you got for Christmas, if you got any books for Christmas. And yeah, that's all we've got time for today, and I'll see you next time I upload a video. Thank you for watching. Bye.